Alright guys, so this is going to be another quickie regarding this episode of Dragon Ball Super, I believe episode 69. Now, if you don't like those filler feeling episodes, those slice of life episodes of Dragon Ball, or any anime in general, then you could probably skip this one, because to be honest with you, as high as our expectations may have been regarding assuming, hey, Trunks looks like he's older, maybe there's a time skip. No, it's just a suit. It's just one of those things, hey, put on a fucking suit and you look older. No, it's pretty much the art and animation for that particular scene or whatever. So, yeah, no time skip here. And honestly, this episode was, for me personally, I had quite a few laughs with it because, I mean, I was just like, yo, you got Goku there as a security guard, even though that lasted like 0.5 fucking seconds. He had the hair gel back and everything, but it was like, hey, yeah, I'm kind of tired of this. I'm gonna go. And it was as I predicted as well, that Chi-Chi made him do it. She made him do the hair, gel down. She made him put on the suit, but he was like, nah, I'm not having none of that. So as far as this episode goes with important stuff, it's not important or whatever, but I did like that they used this opportunity to break the fourth wall multiple times, especially with Vegeta. Vegeta's like, yo, this is a gag character, it's too strong or whatever, which essentially, as far as this episode goes, even though again, it's one of those, you know, funny episodes, comedy episodes, gag episodes, so don't take it seriously, but in a sense, aside from Beerus, seemingly Arale from Dr. Slump is the strongest character in the Dragon Ball verse. I mean, Goku's there, Super Saiyan Blue, and I'm like, really? Well then. Honestly, this episode, I feel as though the moment that it was stolen again, it was like last week's episode with Bulma, but this time around, Beerus stole the show. Like, when he showed up to eat the food, and he did Hakai on the evil scientist, I was like, yo, Beerus fucking stole this episode. There was nothing more hype than when Beerus showed up, and more funny than when Beerus showed up as well, because he was like, oh, I got a shit. Like, maybe I should title this video, the beginning of the title should be, Beerus has to take a shit. No clickbait on that one. Like, whoa. So, yeah, that was a thing, Beerus having to take a shit in this episode, and honestly, it was like, at first, in the beginning of this episode, I was thinking to myself, okay, if I'm not a knowledgeable person about Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Super and what's going on and stuff like that, if I click this episode, you know, in Japan, or let's say I put on the TV and I'm watching, I'm going to be thinking to myself, or just not even in Japan, in general, when somebody watches this episode, I'm going to be thinking, wait, are they actually playing Dragon Ball today, or what's going on? Maybe they switched the program, and I'm going to turn off the episode because they had the Dr. Slump opening playing, and then they had a lot of Dr. Slump in the beginning of this episode, so probably there's going to be people that are going to be confused thinking what the hell is going on. In case you don't know, just to give a very brief history about it, Dr. Slump essentially is the beginning, or shall I say the first series that the creator of Dragon Ball did, Akira Toriyama. Before Dragon Ball, they've had multiple crossovers. Mainly it's just like a gag thing. There's not something to take serious that, yo, my gosh, this little female robot is stronger than everybody in the world. Oh shit, because she even cracked the world in half in this episode. So again, you can't take it serious because that was his first manga. It was strictly comedy, a lot of good stuff like that, as far as like, you know, being funny or whatever, comedic and stuff like that. And you see it throughout this episode. You see some of the characters from Penguin Village and stuff like that. So if you might like something of that nature, then maybe you could check it out. But yeah, this episode, it was just like a funny episode, honestly. I had a couple laughs, especially when Beerus showed up. I think one of the most genius things that Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball in general in the past few years has done is introduce that character. Because when him and Whis showed up, and just in general those scenes with them, it always for me does something. Either it makes it more epic, it makes it funnier, it does something great, and I think that this episode did just that. Beerus stole the show, just like what I was saying about Bulma stealing the show last week. Beerus did it this week. But aside from that, it's like you got Vegeta desperately trying to kick a gag comic character's ass and shit like that. I'm like, oh, okay. Honestly, this episode, if I had to grade it, it's hard because with comedy, it's hard to grade comedy, honestly. Like, if you're watching a film or something like that, you could say if you thought it was funny and, you know, the overall structure of the plot, but this broke the fourth wall. It was mainly comedy. It was focusing on characters that have nothing to do really with Dragon Ball. And it had a couple of little references and stuff like that to other events and, you know, the crossovers it's had in the past with Goku and Arale and stuff like that. So, I mean, maybe a 6, maybe a 6.5 or something like that, because it was kind of funny and seeing the characters out of their element of just natural. Oh my gosh, the earth is in despair. So in that regard, I could say, okay, you know, it was okay. I definitely would say that I enjoyed this episode more, and I think it was overall a better better episode than last week's episode because it wasn't trying to play it straight-faced or anything like that. It was telling you, hey, this is breaking the fourth wall. We're going straight comedy. Just, prepare your ass for some laughs, because other than that, it wasn't doing anything else. And yeah, I feel as though Beerus stole the show. But let me know what you guys think. Favorite moment of the episode? Did this episode make you want to check out Dr. Slump and Arale and all those characters? Or you just didn't really care? Or you one of those people that clicked on this video, but in particular, you're not watching Super until episode 71, I believe, when the serious stuff kicks off. Which, don't worry, if you're not paying attention, I'll let you know when the serious stuff comes back. But for right now, we're still dealing with the slice of life and comedy stuff. And this episode was just that, slice of life and comedy, and your overall thoughts of all this. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm Fineb World, and as always, people, have an awesome day.